Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here. Welcome to today's video. So in this video, I'm going to be taking you through step by step how to create your coaching business marketing plan. It's the same marketing plan that we've been teaching to thousands of our coaches and therapists who are hitting even multiple six figures per year from this marketing plan right here. It's actually the same marketing plan that we helped one of our students go from zero to $12,000, nearly $13,000 in 17 days as a hypnotherapist with this very strategy alone. Now, going forward with this is the exact marketing plan. Like I said, we've been teaching all of our therapists and all of our coaches who are absolutely crushing it from $10,000 a month, $20,000, $30,000, even $50,000 a month by following this exact strategy. Now, if this is your first time seeing one of these videos, it is awesome to have you here. By all means, welcome. What I want you to do is scroll down under this video, jump into the description, because I've just put together a free 2.5-hour marketing masterclass. If you're a coach, you're a hypnotherapist, where I show you exactly how we are getting paid clients every single day and how you as a coach and a therapist can replicate this as well, all using free marketing strategies. So don't worry about funnels, not worrying about Facebook ads or any paid marketing, guys. Check out that masterclass below. And as always, make sure you like, subscribe, and share. And let me know in the comment box, what's your big goal for 2020? What is your income goal that you want to be smashing month after month? And I'll make sure I go about my time to answer all of those questions. If you have any questions for me about how you can do that, write it in the comment box below and in the comments, and I'll make sure I go out of my way to answer all of those questions and give you guys the best advice I can to move your business forward, especially in 2020. So guys, if you're ready to put together a solid and predictable marketing plan as a coach, hypnotherapist, NLP, or RTT, make sure you stick around to the end because that's where all the awesome information is. Let me take you through a live training where I break this step down by step, and show you how easy it is to implement into your business today. So let's jump into the video, guys. Hey everybody, Scott Jansen here, and welcome to today's video. So in today's video, what I wanted to discuss was what I call your inputs, processes, and outputs. So what are the inputs, process, and outputs? Well, let me put you in this situation, and you're probably living this situation right now, and this is one of the main contributors as to why your income is up and down, why you can't get enough clients, maybe why you can't get any consistent with your income, or even worse yet, you're not making any income at all as a hypnotherapist and a coach. And what I want to discuss in this video is to really answer the question, which is, what do I have to do each day, each week, and each month to reach my monthly target, like to reach my income goal? I think as coaches and hypnotherapists and NLP practitioners, we really underestimate how much work goes into even building like a $10,000 a month business. What happens is we get certified, we come out of our certification and our training, we're excited, we're passionate, we know the type of person we want to help, we maybe have already picked our niche, we understand our price, we may have packaged something together. But the next question is, what do I do with all of this information? And we really underestimate how much momentum has to build in order for you to find your voice in this industry. In an oversaturated industry like coaching and NLP and hypnotherapy, which is getting more overly saturated, it seems that everyone's in some sort of denial to believe that just because they're certified, that they should earn money. They should have clients kicking down their door. And I get it. Sometimes we've been sold these dreams by our mentors and our certification mentors and whatnot. But what it comes really down to, and the reality is this: in order to break free of this oversaturated market, to really find your voice, to stand out from your competition, basically, if you're building a business from scratch, you really have to put in more inputs into your business. You have to be that person that takes more consistent action over long periods of time. Because everyone's great at the start. You know, we can wake up, we're motivated, we can work really, really hard for a couple of days, but then that excitement starts to wear off, the momentum starts to wear off, we get distracted by shiny objects, we think we have to go get another course, we start overthinking things and overanalyzing things, and all that excitement and momentum and motivation we had at the start and that inspiration dies off, and now we're back to square one where we're not getting any traction in our business. So what it really comes down to this is, whenever I'm creating or doing something for my business, or I'm putting in together a new project, I'm creating a course, I'm doing whatever, whatever action I'm taking in my business is all systemized and planned. And that's what this video is about today, is we really have to understand how much effort and action you have to take to build up that momentum, and how we can systemize all of the actions that you do take in order to achieve your outcome, which is going to be some sort of monthly income goal. So this video and the demonstration I'm going to be showing you guys is exactly what I do for my business. And I actually do this at the start of every month. So it's another 6 or 7 days before the end of September as I'm recording this. So I'm actually going to help you guys do this a bit ahead of time, but this is basically how the first day of my month looks, what I actually do to plan out the next 30 to 31 days of that month, how I set my goal, and essentially how I create the proper inputs, processes, and outputs. And like I said, this really answers the question of what do I have to do each day? It breaks you free of that denial, the way you've underestimated how much work it actually takes. Here's the thing. The market you're trying to work with, the niche you're trying to work with, rewards value. It doesn't reward certifications. It doesn't reward who your trainer was. It doesn't reward that you train Marissa Peers or Tad James or Igor or anything like that. What it rewards is how much consistent action and value you can create over long periods of time. And this is really business 101. Business is not built from doing one thing per month. It's not built from doing one value post every week. It's built upon constant action over long periods of time. But also understand the question becomes like, what do I have to do? What are these actions I need to take? And how can I do these so consistently where I'm going to achieve some sort of outcome? So this is what I'm going to be showing you today, guys. So this is what I call your inputs, processes, and outputs. All right. So now that you're watching this video, I reckon it's a great idea if you grab a pen and paper and do this exercise along with me. I will make sure that this video and also these slides, which you can download into your PowerPoint, are going to be available for you. And this is essentially how I systemize my entire business month from month. And it is the easiest way to start to analyze how much action you need to take, what processes or conversions you actually need that's going to achieve your output, which is going to be some sort of cash or revenue, which is your income goal. So here's the thing. Everything I do in my business, guys, I'll take from my perspective for now, is systemized. It's on purpose. It's deliberate. There's no guessing. There's no second thinking. I don't rely on motivation. I don't rely on inspiration. What I rely on is discipline. I know that I work best when I'm really, really disciplined. I'm not big on motivation. I sometimes have spurts of inspiration, motivation, which is great, but I also know that these things have a very short shelf life. I know for most entrepreneurs, they rely on the growth of their business when they're motivated and inspired. We also agree that you can be motivated and inspired for a couple of days after going to like an Anthony Robbins seminar or watching a Jim Rohn video or something like this. And you get inspired, you get motivated, and you start to take some sort of action, but then again, it dies off very, very quickly. So motivation, inspiration has a low shelf life. What really counts, and for you guys knowing our students that are doing $10,000 all the way up to $50,000, $60,000 per month, it all comes down to strict discipline. To take action on their inputs, which are your value actions, which we'll talk about soon, so consistently and more than everybody else, so they win long term. Like I said, everybody can start. The start's the easy, because all you have to do is pick a niche and start taking action. The people that survive and the people that win are the ones that are setting themselves up for long term. They're building a high strict discipline schedule into what they do each day. So they no longer have to think. They no longer have to guess. They just take action no matter how they feel. And this is what it comes down to. So what I have here in front of you guys is basically how I systemize, like I said, my business. This, you could even look at this as like, this is my business plan. And it all comes down to these three things: inputs, processes, and outputs. So another word for an input is action. And that's what we have first. What actions do I need to take in my business, or what actions can I take in my business that's going to get my offer, my service, what I do, and my program in front of the right people, which is people like yourselves. Once I figure that out, which I'll show you how to do in a moment, guys, I then have to have some sort of process or some sort of conversion metric. So what is the conversion? A conversion is you either do a sales call, you do a strategy call. I don't recommend having prices on your website if you're selling like a one-to-one service. So we need some sort of process. I have to be able to take a client or a stranger into a paying client. I need some sort of process. Once I have the process down, I know what process I can use, I can then move off to the right-hand side here, which is going to be my output. And output is simply cash or revenue. So putting this all together is, what actions can I take to get people to a process scenario where I can take them on a strategy call, and I can convert that strategy call, which is essentially a stranger, into a paying client that's going to result in them paying me in cash up front, or revenue, which is a payment plan. And that's really it. So what it really boils down to, guys, we'll fill all these boxes in. I'm going to show you guys how to do this for yourself, is this. Let's look at this reality. The more inputs you do, the more inputs you have, guys, the more actions you take, the better your process becomes. So you get better on a strategy call or a sales call, the more money you're going to make. It is that simple. There's no praying to the universe. There's no hope. There's no guessing. There's no waiting around for clients to find your website. There's no going to meetup groups and hoping people are going to be there. It's analyzing and strategizing the correct inputs that are going to lead into taking a total stranger into a process scenario, which is like a sales call or a strategy call, that's going to result in some sort of income. Where most people underestimate is the inputs. They really, really underestimate, and I cannot stress that enough, underestimate how much action you have to take. But it's not just action for 1 or 2 days. It's long periods of time. Businesses are built on constant action over long periods of time. And what's very interesting is, I find myself in my business is, because I'm taking so much action per day, and so are my high earning students, that the days can sometimes become rather boring, okay? Because you're doing the same thing every day. But I look at this slightly different. Is, if my days are boring and they're monotonous and it's like Groundhog Day, I know that I'm going to make money, because I know that the action I'm taking is going to convert into some sort of cash or revenue. And if I apply this action and it works, which results in some sort of cash, I'm going to keep taking this action over and over and over and over again until it stops making me money. But what happens is, a lot of people take action for a couple of days and we almost get bored by this action. So our mind starts to wander. We find another product, another service, or an online course that's slightly different than the one we're on, and we get all excited again. We almost go like into an unconscious type aha moment or trance, where our emotion gets flooded. We get really excited. We get inspired again, and we detach from the things that are actually making us money, because they're quite boring, and we want to be thrilled again. We want to be inspired again. But what happens if we, detach from the boring scenario of doing the same thing over and over, that's actually achieving money, to now going to a place where things are really, really exciting? That thing that is exciting now loses its shelf life and its excitement after a couple of days. And then you go ahead and you do it again. You find another shiny object. You get excited again. That wears off after a while. Then you find another one. That wears off for a while. And another one. That wears off after a while. And so on and so forth. And we just keep following this trail of a couple of days of inspiration, motivation, and excitement that leads us right back to the start, where we have spent more money on more courses. We're overwhelmed with so many different ways we can take our business, so many different things we're told to do, so many different ways we're told to build a business and do this and do that, where we sit back and think, oh my God, where do I start? I'm back to square one. You get uninspired, you get annoyed, you get pissed off with yourself, and then bang, you find another shiny object, you get inspired again, you think, oh my God, that's the one I need. You go into that course, you do that product. So you buy that product, you go into that course, and again, the inspiration wears off again. And this is that shiny object curse that we have. What we teach our students to do is, look, business is not always going to be fun. It's not always going to be exciting. And don't think for a second that you're going to be any different. But what I want you to realize is, guys, once you find an action or an input that works, why would you deviate? You just keep sort of applying this input as many times as you can from so many different angles until you almost wear it out, till it stops making you money. So what's cool is, over a while, guys, once you put this to the test, you pretty much start to learn what you need to do down to the very last action, like the very last almost mouse click that you need to do that's going to achieve some sort of income. And that's when things get really, really special, because now this is what you call predictability. So I know in my business each day that as long as I do this set amount of actions over my 30 days of the month, it's going to pretty much rely and pretty much predictable predictably going to grow my business to X amount of dollars per month. And that's a really special place to be. But it doesn't start here. We have to go through what I'm going to talk about, which is like a feedback loop, a testing loop, to know what you have to do. So it's enough talking from me. I've given you guys the overview. Let's now get into the action. So as I said, we've got the inputs, we've got the process, we've got the outputs. So let's start from, I like to start from the right-hand side, and I like to start right-hand side, and then we'll go to the input. So what's the output? Well, the output is your cash or your revenue. So what this comes down to, guys, and you can write this down, almost draw this graph up if you like, is what do you want to be earning per month? This is the exciting part. Everyone likes this thing. So this really comes down to, guys, what do you want to be earning per month? Okay. Is it a certain income goal? Is it a certain amount of clients? What is it that you want to be earning? So I want you guys to put down a dollar amount. So let's say you thought, okay, Scott, my monthly income for next month, for the next 31 days, I want to make 10,000. Okay, so that is my goal. So I'm going to do a $10,000 month, and that's obviously going to lead to a six-figure business. So that's 10,000. Okay. I want you guys to avoid now like saying, Scott, you know, I want to have 6 clients per month. I want to have, you know, created this program. I want to have these things put into my business next 30 days. You can absolutely use the same process, but let's now talk about money, because that's the biggest question on everybody's mind, which is how do I actually make money? So it starts off with $10,000. Okay. So whether it's $10,000 worth of cash up front or $10,000 revenue, those are things you'll have to think about for yourself. But let's say altogether, the sum total of the next 30 to 31 days in profit is $10,000. So how do we get there? And what's funny is, like, this is where most people stop. And they just think, as long as I put $10,000 on my timeline, I create an image, I drop it into my timeline, I write it on my vision board, I put it in my vision diary, and I just read it to myself every day. I hope and pray and put some hypnosis audio on to break my abundance blocks, all this sort of stuff, that it's going to happen. And I'm here to tell you that's not the case. What's going to get you this $10,000 is the extreme dedication of your inputs. And like I said, it's where most people underestimate. So now we have $10,000. Let's now look at our process. So what is our process? So what's very interesting, let me get a text box here, is most coaches and therapists that I speak to have no process. So to know if you don't have a process, you have to ask yourself this question. When I have a client or a potential client interested in my service, what's the next step? Do I get them on a sales call? Do I do a strategy call? Do I call it a discovery call? Do I have prices on my website? You have to figure out what is your process, because you have to convert this inquiry into an output, which is money. So what we teach is what is called a strategy call. It's really like a sales call. It could be a discovery call. Whatever you want to call it is fine by me. But what this is this is your conversion metric. If you don't have a conversion, like someone inquires about your service or your product, and you don't have any way to manipulate that person from a stranger to an output, you need to sort out your process. So we teach a strategy call. We give our students a strategy call script basically to read, where they take their clients through like a journey of sorts, you know, and position themselves as the expert, find out what their client needs, put their price in the right place, all of these sorts of things, which create a really ingenious process. If you do have a discovery call or a strategy call or a sales call, and your strategy call sounds like this, like a client calls you and says, hey, I'm interested in quitting smoking. And your conversation is, okay, great. Well, I can see you this Thursday at 1 p.m. How does that sound? The client says, that sounds great. Then the client says, how much is it? And you say, well, my price is $1,000. The client says, well, that's rather expensive. I'll get back to you soon. So this is not a process. There has to be some systemized and process strategy that you can put into place that allows you to position yourself as the expert, allows you to create the right price, the right service, talk to your client. All of these sorts of things would go into like a 45 minutes or 1 hour strategy call that gives you control over that scenario. So right now, if you don't have a process in place, guys, you have to make sure you have one, because when we move into the inputs, which is next, if you have no way to convert this person into some sort of output, you're basically leaving money on the table. Okay. So what's our focus for today is, like, we can go into another video and talk about strategy calls and all that stuff. But my really focus here today is this input section here. So the way I like to do my inputs is I like to strategize them over the next 30 days. So the question I'm going to ask myself is, what actions am I going to take in total per action to achieve my $10,000 per month. Okay. So guys, the best way to look at this to know if you are doing enough action, you're taking enough action in your business and you're creating the right outputs, is to actually analyze the month previous. Okay. So this again is starting to really understand how your system works, how your business actually works, and the lack of or more than inputs or actions in your business. Right now, if you look at the last 30 days and you've essentially had no money coming in, you've had no sales and no paying clients, you need to analyze your actions. And more than likely, you've extremely underestimated how much action you need to take. If there's no actions or inputs going into the business, if you imagine this is like a business, like a system, if there's no inputs coming into this section, it means that we're not taking anybody from this input into a process situation, which is not going to lead us to any money. So in real layman's term, if you don't take enough action, guys, you're not going to make any money. That's what it really comes down to. So guys, analyze the last 30 days. And I want you to look at your social media as one main point of you can look at. How many sales calls you had, how many times you offered your service, how many people you spoke to, how many events did you go to, if that's what you do, how much social media do you actually do, how many Facebook Lives you actually do, and I want you to add them up as a total. So as a total, let's say you did 1 Facebook Live per month, that would equal 1 action item. If you did 2 posts last month and 1 Facebook Live, you now have 3 action items, 3 inputs. So each action, no matter what the length is, equals 1. So let's look at this. Let's say over the last 30 days, you did 1 Facebook Live. Let's make that a little bit bigger so I can read this. Okay, so you did 1 Facebook Live. You did 4 posts on your Facebook page. You did 1, you spoke to 1 person on the phone. So let's say you did 1 sales call. Okay, or actually won't take the strategy call. Let's say spoke. Oh, let's put inquiry. 1 inquiry. What else could you have done? You did, what else could we do? You went to 1 meetup group, if that's what you're doing. So 1 meetup group. And what else could you have done? Let's think about this. You did 2 YouTube videos and you joined 2 Facebook groups and you reached out, you did some sort of organic marketing. We call this organic outreach, where you messaged someone on Facebook and said, hey, this is what I do. This is my offer. Do you want to jump on a quick phone call? You spoke to 4 people for organic outreach. Okay. So looking at this, let's say this was your last 30 days, which is pretty common. Like there's not much going on. So you have 1 Facebook Live, 4 posts, 1 inquiry, 1 meetup, 2 YouTube videos, 2 Facebook groups, and 4 organic outreach. Obviously that gives us a total, which is 15 inputs. Okay. Now guys, I want you to look at this logically. Okay, let's actually put this in, inputs. Do you believe that taking 15 actions over 30 days, let's just say this was you, let's analyze this and say that this is actually a hypnotherapist or a coach right now. Do you really believe that taking 15 inputs, which is like 1 every second day, if we expand it over 30 to 31 days, is going to be enough to achieve a $10,000 month? Well, the answer is absolutely not. It's not even close. As I said before, the more inputs we put into our business, the more actions we take. Even think of it like feeding a machine. Let's say this machine was really, really hungry. The more you fed it, the more it's going to be satisfied. It's the same with our inputs. The more inputs we take, the more action we take, the more things we do, the higher likelihood that we have to get people to a process that's going to get people to an output. Now, right at the start, guys, here's the thing. We're going to guess right at the start, because we need at least 1 to 2 months total of consistent action, and a hell of a lot of action, and I'll talk about what this could be, in order to see at how much action or how many of these things actually equivocate to a process. Because not everything we do here is going to have a direct outcome. But if we're guessing right at the start, it's better to just do everything right now and a hell of a lot of it, then analyze the system as it were and think, okay, what got me these people to a process? Well, I did 9 Facebook Lives, and every time I did a Facebook Live, it resulted into a sales call. So that would mean that next month, you're going to make sure you do those Facebook Lives again. If you went to one meetup group every week for 30 days, so you went to 4 in total, but none of those meetup groups turned into a paying client, well, that'd be one thing that I would delete next month because it's shown or it's been proven not to result in a process or an output. If I joined 2 Facebook groups and every Facebook group I went into, maybe I did some posting or I added people to a friends list or something like this, it resulted in people inquiring about my service. Well, that means I'm going to do that again. If I did 4 organic outreaches and out of those 4, and these are just a scenario, this is just a random scenario, 4 people said, yes, I'd love to quit smoking with you. I'd love to jump on a phone call. Well, that would let me know that I need to do that input again. But that's getting further ahead of where we are, and that's really analyzing the machine, and that's really the next stage of this. But what we have to look at this, guys, is we need to increase this. I tell everybody who's starting out a hypnotherapy or coaching business, is right at the start, you need to do a lot of this. There's no set number. You basically need to wake up every single day, and your only goal should be doing as many of these as possible. But like I said, most people do action or take action for 1, 2, maybe 3 days. They lose momentum, they get bored with it, they think it's not working, and then shiny object starts to creep into their life, and now they follow that trail and they get distracted. Okay? So how do we increase these inputs? Well, it's very, very simple. Let's say you give yourself 8 to 9 hours per day, 5 to 6 days per week to work on your business every single week over the next 30 days. So what could you do each and every day as far as a schedule that would allow you to put in the maximum amount of inputs to dedicate your time to putting in as much into your business for the next 30 days to see and analyze what exact actions got you strategy calls that turned into cash and revenue? Okay. So here's what I recommend. I'm just going to give you guys a scenario of what you could follow. I mean, you have to test this for yourself. In our 100K coaching program, I show you guys how to set up what is called a high performance schedule, where I actually give you the inputs. I show you which action items you have to do. I show you how many you need to take, almost down to the last action that's going to achieve your output and your cash. But that requires a little bit of training to show you how to do that. But for right now, let me just show you what could be done. So let's say I'm working on my business, let's say for easy math, 5 days a week, okay? What I would be doing is let's break down each action that you could take. 5 days a week, Monday to Friday. Well, you better believe that I'm going to do 1 Facebook Live every single day, 5 days a week, okay? Which for the month is going to give me 20 Facebook Lives, okay? So I'm just going to talk about 20 different things on these Facebook Lives, whether it's a 2-minute video, it's a 1-hour video, it does not matter. What I'm going to be doing for the next 4 weeks, 30 days, is getting my face on the camera every single day. I'm going to be talking about something. I don't care if nobody shows up. I don't care if nobody comments. I don't care if anyone shares my videos. I don't care about those things because those are metrics that we can look at later. What I do want to do, however, is I want to build up momentum. I want to know that if someone, watches one of my Facebook Lives, my 3rd week into doing it, and they really like it, they can keep scrolling backwards through my Facebook Live and they can see another video and another video and another video. And now what these videos are starting to do is indoctrinate people into my way of thinking. If, however, like I somehow stumble across your Facebook Live, it sounds great, I love what you're talking about, and I think, wow, this person really gets it. This is really interesting stuff. They're talking about the problems I have in my life. They seem to be the expert. I'm going to go find out who this person is. I click on your Facebook page and then I start scrolling backwards through your Facebook page and I can't find anything else. The next Facebook Live I saw you record was like 6 months ago. And in between those Facebook Lives are random posts, random videos, sharing random things, political rants, all this sort of garbage in between. So now I have to scroll further and further and further and further back to find the content that actually interests me. And already I'm losing faith that you're the expert. But if, however, I stumble across a Facebook Live of yours that I really like, and then I click on your Facebook page and think, oh my God, there's another one I can watch. There's another post I can read. There's another client interview. There's another testimonial. there's another Facebook Live, there's another quick video, and I just find content after content, and I see your face. I start to unconsciously associate you to being the expert because you're talking about anxiety, or you're talking about stopping smoking, you're talking about mindset, you're talking about your niche, guys, like this pain that's in my life. I can now see you as the expert. So for a Facebook Live, guys, I recommend that you do one every day for the next 30 days. Okay, if not even the next 60 days, to find your voice and get your face in this industry. So from there, what else could I do? Well, if I'm working 5 days a week, I'm going to think about creating at least 2 posts or 2 announcements per day. Okay, so if I'm doing 2 per day, that's going to leave me, let's say 40 Facebook posts. Okay, so I'm not just creating one video and I'm done for the day. I'm going to create a video, then a couple of hours later, I'm going to have a Facebook post. I'm going to do a Facebook post and a Facebook Live. So now already, if you look at what we looked at before, I've now gone from 15 inputs and I'm already at 60 for the month. Okay, and yes, I've had to dedicate my time, but guys, what else are you going to do? Like, if you're sitting around waiting for clients, why wouldn't you put the effort into doing these inputs into your business and taking this action? Even if no one's sharing it, even if no one's commenting, a lot of people get psyched out because they say, Scott, I did a Facebook Live and nobody showed up. Why would they show up? You've only done 1. You've only done 10, 15, 20. Why would they show up? It's long actions over long periods of time. The things we do today are not going to show up as an output today. They're going to show up later. And if a potential client wants to follow the trail backwards of how much content I have as far as an expert talking about my niche, if it stops after 1 video per week, of course they're not going to look at me as the expert, and I'm just going to find somebody else. So let's say I did 20 Facebook Lives per month, 40 Facebook posts per month. I might also do, let's say, for argument's sake, I'm doing some sort of organic outreach like we teach, which is me basically finding people in my niche that could use my service and me reaching out to them. Where most people would wait for that person to find their website, I'm going to take the first move and I'm going to do what's called hunting. I'm going to go hunting for the right client for my service, and I'm going to make the first move. I'm going to reach out to them. So let's say, for argument's sake, I was doing 10 a day, so that's 50 per week. I'm now going to reach out to 200 people through organic outreach. Now, based on numbers, if you reach out to 200 people over a month, the chances are, as far as statistics, you're going to get maybe 1/5 of those people that'll turn around and say, you know what? Yeah, I could be interested in jumping on a call with you. And these are just random numbers and random metrics here, but that's just to demonstrate what I'm talking about here. So if you reach out to 200 people, there's going to be someone in that 200 people, that bunch of 200 people that's going to say, yes, I'd love to jump on a phone call. And that phone call is the process. Okay. So here's the thing as well. Each one of these actions will back up the next action. So what do I mean by this? So a lot of people don't understand. Let's say I reach out to a total stranger and say, hey, my name is Scott Jansen. I help coaches and hypnotherapists build hyper profitable businesses. I saw you're a coach and I'm curious, are you struggling with money? Are you struggling to get clients? If so, I'd love to jump on a quick 15-minute phone call to tell you about what I do and see if I could maybe help you in your situation. This could be a actual message that I would send out to people. Okay. Now, if I send this out to somebody, you're going to get different scenarios. Some people are going to tell you to F off. Some people will block you. Some people ignore you. But the ones that say yes, that's awesome, because then I can jump on a phone call and turn this into a process. But here's the thing. Just because you send it out today doesn't mean someone's going to respond today. So let's say I send out my first 10 on a Monday. What could happen is for the Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday, this person that I've made contact with might want to find out who I am. Doesn't want to say yes to me yet. And they want to find out, okay, who is this Scott Jansen guy? What is he about? So they're going to go to my Facebook page, and I see this a lot, guys. It's really, really interesting. I'll get a lot of notifications from Facebook that people follow me. A lot of people follow me. And I actually take a mental note of who those people are, because I want to analyze, are these people that are following me a result of me reaching out to them? 10 times out of 10 it is. And then how long or how much content does this person have to look at, or how long do they have to follow me for before they say yes to my offer? And let's say it's 3 to 4 days down the track. When this person finally says yes and I get them onto a process, most of the time they say, well, Scott, I got your message and I've just been watching your Facebook Lives for the last couple of days and they're awesome. I've been reading your posts. They're inspiring. I've been seeing your testimonials. I want to have results like that. Had I not done the lives, the Facebook posts, the content, all the things I'm telling you guys to do now, that person would have come to my page and think, okay, who's this guy reaching out to me? I'm going to go check him out. I'm going to almost like Facebook stalk him. And if I can't find any content, can't find any testimonials, here's me saying I'm an expert in this organic outreach message, but I've got no evidence to back it up. This person I've reached out to is going to think, hang on, this is a scam. Like, this is just a spammy message. I'm going to block this person. This guy's not legitimate. How can he be the expert and claim to be the expert if I can't see any evidence that he is? So now that I've done the lives, I've done the posts, I've done all the content, I'm even creating content for you guys now for this purpose. I want to share this with my audience so they can see, hey, this guy knows what I'm talking about. And they can look back over years of my Facebook page and see content every single day, many times per day. And they can absorb all that content. So I've done 20 Facebook Lives for the month, 40 Facebook posts, 200 organic outreaches. Let's say I have reached out and tried to add as many people to my friends list. We call this growing our audience, which is basically we have the ability, thanks to Facebook, to have our Facebook friends list up to 5,000 people. But like the way that we teach, we don't add friends and family to our Facebook page or our Facebook list, our audience list. We want to, add potential clients. So Facebook basically gives us 5,000 leads, almost like 5,000 spots, where I can fill up with coaches, hypnotherapists. You can fill up with smokers or anxiety clients, weight loss, people with weight issues, all those sorts of things. Let's say I'm building up this audience, and over the month I get another, let's say, 1,000 friends, which are from my niche. So let's say I've now added another 1,000 coaches to my friends list. And yes, you probably realize we're doing this all from our personal page, not a business page. But in order to get those 1,000 people, I might have had to request 2,000 people to only 1,000 people accepted. But it's part of an input. Okay, it's action I had to take. I'd literally had to go find these people, send a friend request, and hope that they were going to say yes to me. And then from there, once they say yes, then I can start reaching out to these people, the organic outreach. You can see how that system starts to work. So already I'm at 20 lives, 40 Facebook posts, 200 organic outreach, 1,000 Facebook friends. So here's the ingenious stuff. If I've done 20 Facebook lives, I'm now going to transfer those 20 Facebook lives into 20 YouTube videos. Okay. I'm not going to, let me just clean this up. I'm not going to create separate YouTube videos. I'm actually going to repurpose these Facebook Lives and put them on my YouTube channel. So that gives me another 20 inputs. And a YouTube channel is, another free social platform where you can really show your expertise. So again, let's say I've reached out to somebody and they think, well, who is this person? I wonder what this person's about. They're now going to go looking for me. Let's say they find a website, they find me on Facebook, they find me on LinkedIn, whatever it is. They could also find me on YouTube. Okay. Now they click over to my YouTube channel and see the thousands of subscribers that I have, the thousands of videos that I have, and instantly and synonymously, I now become another expert. Because what's the one thing all gurus have? They all have a YouTube channel. Okay. And YouTube is actually sometimes ranked higher than Facebook. If you were to type in your name into Google, more than likely you're going to get some sort of YouTube response if you've got a YouTube channel. So this instantly gives you credibility as the expert, because not only are you on Facebook, now you have a YouTube channel. What's quite interesting is like people that aren't in the know with this social media stuff, they don't really know this stuff. They'll actually find my YouTube channel and they'll say, wow, I didn't know you had a YouTube channel. I didn't know, you must be the expert if you've got a YouTube channel. They haven't quite realized that anybody can have a YouTube channel. So like I said, I'm repurposing because I'm not going to double up the time it takes me to make a video. Any Facebook Live that I create, I'm going to download straight from Facebook, which you can do for free. And I'm going to upload it into YouTube. So now I have repurposed the same content, and now I'm saving a bit of time as well. So look at my inputs already. Okay, so from there, let's say I've done 40 Facebook posts, I've done 20 lives, I've got 1,000 friends in my niche, 200 organic outreach, I now have 20 new YouTube videos. Let's say twice per day, I'm going to make an announcement. So what's the difference between an announcement and a post? A post is like a long form post where have an image and maybe a couple of paragraphs of some certain topic. An announcement is like a quick phrase that has one of those colored backgrounds. You can choose a different colored background thanks to Facebook. So from there, let's say I'm going to do 2 of those a day. So now I'm going to be at 40 announcements for the month. Okay. An announcement, the way I do my announcements basically is I look through the 40 posts that I have. I find a quick paragraph or a sentence that made a lot of sense and was really, really cool. Now I turn that into an announcement. So now I'm repurposing my Facebook posts. And guys, I'll let you in on another hint. If you do a Facebook post and you think, well, how can I, what can I talk about in my video? Talk about the same thing you talked about in your post, or vice versa. Create a video first, do a Facebook Live, turn that Facebook Live into a post, and now turn that post into an announcement. So I'm not always creating different content. I actually prefer to create a video, and then I turn that video into a post. I now turn that post into a blog. So I'm repurposing everything. So let's say I'm doing 40 announcements for the month, okay? And then from there, let's say I've got a website. I'm going to do 1 blog per day, okay? And here's another hint, guys. When I create a Facebook Live or a Facebook video, I actually go onto a website called temi.com, which is TEMI.com, and I pay 10 cents per minute to have it, to create it into a script. Okay, so basically it downloads the video and creates a transcribe of the entire video. And what I do now is I upload that video into a blog on my WordPress website, and then I just copy and paste the transcribe that I got from Temi, which is $10 a minute, 10 cents a minute, sorry. So if I have a 2-minute video, I'm going to pay 20 cents to have it transcribed, which is, you can even pay a VA to do it that quickly. And I'm going to copy and paste that transcribe, and now that's going to become a blog. Okay. So if I do that, I'm going to have 20 blogs. See, I'm repurposing this stuff, guys. 20 Facebook Lives are now turning into 20 blogs. Okay. That's simple. Okay. And I'm going to have that blog on my website. Okay. And I actually call this a video blog. Okay. So video blog. Okay. Why do I do this? Well, blogging is a great way to get more traction in your business, and it gives you another way for your clients to find you. But sitting there typing thousands of words, which a blog requires, finding an image, doing all that stuff, takes a long time. I used to write a lot of blogs. Like 5-6 years ago, I wrote a lot of blogs. I used to write like 3 or 4 a day because that was the going thing at the time. It worked very, very well. But then it really stopped working, and more attention was put onto like videos and social media. So at the time, I was spending hours, like 5-6 hours per day, writing 5-6 blogs, take about an hour altogether. But then I realized, hey, why don't I just get at my video transcribe that'll have, several thousand words that I've already said on a video. Let's transcribe it out and turn that into a blog. So now I'm saving time. So let's add this up, guys, to see where we are. We're not done yet. So we have 20 Facebook Lives, 40 posts, 200 organic outreach, 1,000 friends, 20 YouTube videos, 40 announcements, and 20 blogs in the month. Now, let me just give you an example of where we are right now, just the quick maths, just to show you the difference. 1,340 actions compared to 15 per month. See the difference, guys? That's the difference. Now, the chances of this turning into a process is greatly increased because I'm giving my clients different ways to see that I'm an expert, different channels, so to speak, for them to find me. And what I'm doing every time I create content, guys, every time I'm doing videos, really pay attention to this. Here's what I'm doing. Here's like the secret everybody asks. Like, why do you have to do so much? Other than, doing more action over long periods of time, getting strategy calls and making money. Here it is, guys. It takes a while for your market, your niche, to be indoctrinated. So what is indoctrinated? Is every time you create some sort of unique content, every time you create a video, every time you talk about your niche and your solution, and your clients pay attention, they're either going to say yes or no. They're going to agree with you or disagree. But here's the thing. Even if someone disagrees with you right now, doesn't mean that over time, once you keep showing them content after content, your way of thinking, indoctrinating the way that they're thinking, talking about their false beliefs, talking about their pain, talking about their solution, all of that sort of stuff, over time starts to wear people down, and eventually they'll watch some video or they'll read some post where bang, a light bulb moment will go off. And it won't happen the first video, won't happen the second, won't happen the first post or the fifth post. At some point, that person who's always seeing your content's always catching their eyes, eventually going to go, hang on, that makes sense. Wow, I never thought of it like that before. I can see what this person's talking about now. This makes total sense. Now, this happens all the time. The amount of coaches and therapists that I'll get on a call that'll say, Scott, I've been watching your stuff for a long time, but it was that last video that really got me. But here's the thing that I don't realize. It wasn't just the last video. That was just the, the push off the end of the cliff that they needed. It was all the other things I did before that was slowly indoctrinating their mind into my way of thinking. And that's the real secret and the real art to this, guys. To indoctrinate your marketing into the way that you think. That's why I always stress you have to do things so different. You've got to talk about different things than other people. And you definitely have to have more content than basically everybody else. You can't indoctrinate your market into believing what you say and buying anything you have if you just have like one video a month. If you just do 15 actions per month, how far can you really indoctrinate somebody? In comparison to 1,340 different actions, you're going to start to wear this person down thin. And we know what happens to the unconscious mind, knowing that that's really the decision maker. It takes time and repetition for that unconscious mind to go, well, you know what? That's a new way to look at it. Let's consider this. And that's when we get that aha moment. We get that excitement when we see some new content or something new that we think is going to have an impact into our life, but it took time to be indoctrinated. I don't think I've ever looked at something new, some sort of new content, an insight, a concept. I've never looked at it one time and gone, wow, that's going to totally change my life. No, I usually watch something or hear something and go, okay, that's interesting. I don't quite agree with it. Then I see the next bit of content. I go, okay, that makes sense. Yeah, I'm still not quite sure, but it's making more sense. I watch more and more and more, and eventually something clicks. And I go, wow, now that makes sense. That is interesting. I never thought of it like that before. It's because I've been indoctrinated by all of those bits of content. I've been indoctrinated into that way of thinking, those insights. This also happened to you guys when you first became a coach or a hypnotherapist. For a lot of people, they might have gone into being certified, not really believing in hypnosis, not knowing that coaching was going to change their life. They just went for maybe something to do. And after a day or 2 or 3 days of, seeing the demonstrations, hearing the content, thinking about how these insights could work in your life, the activities, the things that you're doing with your mentor and during the training course, a couple of hours, a couple of days of this, eventually you get to the end of the seminar and now you're running over to the back to now put $10,000 on your credit card because now you want to become an NLP practitioner and run a business. But before, you had no thoughts of that. You have no, there wasn't even in your mind that you wanted to become a practitioner. You just thought it's something to do, but now you actually want to run a business doing this. That's indoctrination. And it happens through long periods of time and constantly having new content and new insights being indoctrinated inside your mind so you have that aha moment. And it's the exact same thing we're doing now, guys. So as you can see with the inputs, and these aren't the only inputs, these are the ones, just as just an example. Like I said, in our 100K coaching program, we get into a high level of detail and I basically give you the list and I just show you what to do and when to do it. Basically set up your entire high performance schedule for you and say, here it is, just follow it. It's proven to work time and time again. But what a difference, guys. So like I said, you could get to, let's say over the month, 1,000, 2,000, 3,000. If you were really extreme, you could get this up to 4,000 to 5,000 different inputs. You've got blogging, you've got video, you've got outreach, you could host events, you could do seminars, you could have a PDF or a book, you could reach out to friends, you've got announcements, you've got lives, you've got posts. There's so many different things you can do. But right at the start, guys, like I said, you won't know what to do exactly. And it is going to be a lot of guessing. So let's say after you do this for a month or two and it's leading into getting money, it's getting you strategy calls, then as like a more advanced way to actually look at this, we can actually, and we teach you guys how to do this in the 100K as well, the 100K coach, is to basically look at this and think, okay, what worked and what didn't? I've been doing blogs every single day for the last 2 months. It hasn't really resulted in anything. Well, I could probably get rid of those. And that time spent on doing blogs, I could do another Facebook Live, because every time I do a Facebook Live, that turns into a paying client. So that's how we do what we call analyzing the system. We're tweaking parts of our system so we can get more out of the inputs, which is going to be more processed than just randomly guessing. But right at the start, guys, there is a lot of guessing. So that analyzing and seeing what happens over the month is what we call a feedback loop. So basically, we have to do a whole bunch of inputs as much as you can. We want to turn those inputs into a process. We have to master like a sales call or strategy call. That's going to result in some outputs. Basically, the more people you get on the phone in the context of the way we teach, the more money you're going to make. Then what you do is you look back over the last 30 days, which is the feedback loop, and you look back and think, okay, what had the most impact, sorry. Was it the lives? Was it the posts? Was it the organic reach? Was it the friends? Was it the YouTube video? What gave you the most traction? And then what you do is you take out the things that had no impact and you increase the things that did have an impact. And this is how you get real predictability in all your actions. And eventually your business becomes just doing the things that worked and ignoring everything else, which is what I do in my business. I know exactly down to the last action what I need to do, and I ignore everything else, because then I'm getting predictability. And down to the last dollar, it's pretty much predictable every single month. If I wanted to increase my input and my cash and my revenue, my output, my cash and revenue for the month, I would maybe try some new inputs and test them on a feedback loop over 30 to 60 days, or I would just increase the inputs. I have no problems adding another 2 to 3 hours per day. If I had to do 5 Facebook Lives per day, so be it. If I had to write 100 posts a month, so be it. If I had to create 100 new YouTube videos every single month, so be it. If I had to write 5 blogs a day, I've got no problems doing that. But I'm going to first analyze what worked in the first place. So guys, what this video really wants to answer the question of what do you have to do each day? And I really want you to realize that everybody underestimates the amount of inputs. In layman's terms, the more inputs and action you put into your business, the higher chance you have to get someone on a strategy call. That strategy call over time, the more you do of them, the better you're going to get at them, the more money you're going to make, because now you're going to be able to convert these people. All right, guys, so that's the end of the video. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I said, I will have this video as a downloadable option below this video. I'll also have a link where you can actually download this quick presentation into your PowerPoint if you wish, and you can play around with it. If not, you can actually just write out that process, which is the system right here. And I highly suggest looking at the last 30 to 60 days, writing down everything you did. And if you're not making any money, now for the next 30 to 60 days moving forward, you want to increase this input 100 times over, 500 times over. The more inputs, the more chance of getting a process, the more money you guys are going to make. So I hope you enjoyed that. That's all for me for now, and I'll see you guys on the next video.